For lesson 82, we're going to talk about volume of a rectangular prism. So the volume of a shape is the amount of space that the shape occupies. So the whole amount that's inside. We measure volume by using units that take up space called cubic units. The number of cubic units of space that the shape occupies is the volume measurement of that shape. So we select units of appropriate size to describe a volume. For small volumes, we can use cubic centimeters or cubic inches. For large volumes, we can use cubic feet or cubic meters. So there's just some representation of cubic centimeter, cubic inch. Okay. So to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism, we begin by finding the area of the base of the prism. Okay. Then we imagine building layers of cubes on the base up to the height of the prism. Okay. So for this example, it says how many 1-inch cubes are needed to form this rectangular prism. A 1-inch cube is a cube whose edges are 1 inch long. So basically what this is saying is we have 5 inches here, so we have 1-inch cubes going this way. We have 4 going up this way. So it's kind of like this line comes here, like that. These go up, and these would go up. Now these would meet up here as well. Okay, so there's all that. Red, it's hard to count because we can't see, but what we can do is we can do some multiplications. We find that area of that base. So let's look at the bottom. Okay, we know this, either this bottom or this top one is going to have 15 because we can take that 5 times 3. If you counted, you get 15. Okay, so we took 5 times 3, which would be 15. We did inch times inch, so it's going to be inches squared. Okay. Then what we need to do is multiply by this number going up. Okay, and that will get all the cubes that are in there. So we're going to take 15 times 4, which is going to be 60. Now we multiply another inch, so we're going to change this square to a cube. Okay, a 3. So there's going to be it's going to be 60 cubes inside there because it asks how many cubes. Okay, if it didn't ask how many cubes, if it asked volume, we're going to use that inches cubed. We'll get there. So 60 cubes are going to go in there. Notice that in that example we multiplied the length by the width to find the area of the base, and we multiplied that area of the base by the height to find the volume. So we can calculate the volume V of a rectangular prism by multiplying 3 perpendicular dimensions of the prism. Multiply the length times width times the height. So the formula is V equals L times W times H, length times width times height. Does the order that we multiply the dimensions change the answer? So if we did length times height and then times width, is that going to change our answer? No, because we're multiplying, it doesn't matter what order we multiply it in. Right? Just remember, when we multiply and try to find volume, we do length times width times height. Our answer is always going to be cubed. Okay, remember, area was squared, volume is always cubed. So example 2 says, what is the volume of a cube whose edges are 10 centimeters long? So this is 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters. I'm going to take 10 times 10 times 10. Okay. That's 100 times 10. That's going to be 1,000. My label is going to be centimeters cubed. Volume's always cubed. If I didn't know that, I could see I'm multiplying centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. Okay, example 3, it says find the volume of a rectangular prism that is 4 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 2 feet high. So we have 4, 3, and 2. This is all feet. Okay. So remember, length times width times height. So I'm going to take 4 times 3 times 2. 12 times 2, that's 24. My label is feet. I'm taking feet times feet times feet, so it's feet cubed. Volume's always cubed. So my answer, 24 feet cubed. So this should be a fairly easy lesson. We're just taking the length times the width times the height. Remember that it's all, our units are always cubed to the 3rd power. Allison put small cubes together to build larger cubes. She made a table to record the number of cubes she used. Given this pattern, describe a rule that can be used to find the volume of a cube. So the length of the edge, so the cubes along the edge are going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember, it's a cube, so everything's the same. Okay? The volume, so the number of cubes used, is 8, 27, 64, 125 respectively. So if the length of one side is 2, the volume is 8. If the length of 3 sides is 3, the volume is 27. So what could our rule be? Go ahead and pause the video, think about it. When you think you have an answer, go ahead and hit play. Our solution. We can use a pattern to help us find a rule for determining the volume of a cube. In earlier examples, we multiplied length and width and height. For a cube, these three measures are equal. Okay? Because everything's the same in a cube. So we have 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Thus, cubing the edge of a cube gives us the volume, or B, volume equals an edge cubed. So here we're just saying that the volume is going to be whatever the length of that edge is cubed. Remember that exponent says we multiply that 2 3 times. Okay. So for 6, we do volume equals 6 cubed, or 6 times 6 times 6. Okay. So go ahead, do the practice set. Make sure you bring any questions that you may have to class.